You are always held with unconditional love. When you look up at the moon and stars, you can feel your soul's connection to the entire universe and all its beings. It's possible to make every decision with your mind, body, and spirit in total alignment and wholeness. I'm Divinely Jennifer, translating astrology and health in ways you've never experienced before so that you can choose the path that is right for you. And this is the Juicy Astrology for Thursday, October 7th through Tuesday, October 12th, 2021. Welcome. Beauties! Woo! If the new moon energy on Wednesday was any indication, we are definitely on track for a roller coaster of a lunar cycle. This week through the first quarter moon sets the stage for heroics, histrionics, and bold confrontations. And it also invites adventures in love and intimacy, bringing and encouraging harmony to our relationships and transformational rituals that bring insights and visions. If you're wondering why I'm getting this recording out to you so late, it's because I have been keeping very busy diving into the astrology and health readings of some truly spectacular wisdom keepers and lightworkers. Maybe once Saturn turns direct this week, I'll be able to set better boundaries around the time limits on my sessions. In the meantime, I am thoroughly enjoying witnessing the magic encapsulated in the divine natal blueprints of people who inspire me with their gifts, their dreams, and their journeys. Honestly, no matter how wonky October's astrology is, and no matter how stressful it can be watching the 3D house of cards fall, meeting with such amazing souls deepens my trust in the divine, Mother Earth, and the community coming together to create the new Earth. I also had a lot of fun leading the free new moon webinar in Libra last week. One of the things I love best about astrology is that you can't take it personally. It's not like your chart is out to get you, although people with Saturn and Capricorn might disagree with that. I truly believe that we choose our natal blueprint before we incarnate as a map to the life we wish to live and the lessons we wish to learn this time around. Astrology also allows us to experience the breadth of frequency of a situation, from the low and shadow frequencies to the highest and most loving. It's up to us how we react to it. If you've been struggling with your path and deciding where to shine your light, now is the perfect time to book an astrology and health reading with me via my website, www.divinelyjennifer.com. If you haven't already noticed, I do astrology a little differently in that I incorporate as many of the goddesses as my astrology software allows. This brings a more balanced perspective so that Venus doesn't have to carry the entire weight of the feminine on her shoulders, as she does in traditional and even much of modern astrology. Speaking of the goddesses, Pluto in Capricorn makes his fifth and last exact square to Eris in Aries this week. Eris simply is not buying the authoritarian ways of certain governments and corporations as they attempt to squeeze every last drop of power they can before we fully enter Scorpio season when fall is in full bloom, so to speak. Some people may be tempted to lob literal and proverbial bombs in the name of Eris to fight for their freedom. But the highest vibrations of both Pluto and Eris want us to claim our sovereignty simply because we are born sovereign. And no one can ever take that away from you, even if you live in Australia, New York, or California. Please help your fellow lightworkers by subscribing to my YouTube channel and by liking and commenting on the videos. This tells the YouTube algorithm that this is a really cool video and people should watch it. Then we get to grow our community. How awesome is that? Okay, loves, there is a lot going on this week. So with no further ado, let's get to the juicy astrology for Thursday, October 7th through Tuesday, October 12th, 2021. As always, all times listed are Pacific Daylight Time, so please adjust accordingly to your time zone. Thursday, October 7th. The moon starts the day void in Libra after his closing T-square to Pluto and Eris last night. She enters sultry, seductive, transformative, and ritualistic Scorpio at 7:22 a.m. She doesn't give a leap about the collective. She's much more interested in occult rituals and initiations that lead to transformation. Venus enters Sagittarius at 4:20 a.m. Those of us with planets at 0 degrees on our natal chart really felt this shift. Venus is done with the dominatrix and is moving on to adventures in faraway or foreign lands, or at least wants to bring more spirituality to her relationships and visions of abundance. Once she gets past her conjunction with the South Node tomorrow, she'll be ready to commit to a more optimistic, generous view of love. Enjoy her adventurous perspective while you can. She'll stay in Sagittarius until November 4th when she moves into Capricorn, where she'll stay until March 6th, 2022. That is going to be interesting. Pallas Athena in Pisces squares Ceres in Gemini at 3:15 p.m. They're both at 12 degrees 8 minutes. Ceres is fertile with ideas and communication, while Pallas wants to meditate, dream, and manifest in the hot springs at Esalen, overlooking the ocean. If you choose the tub route, be sure to bring a journal. Likewise, listen to what ideas around communication and language that Ceres is playing with. You never know what those seeds may conceive. The Sun in Libra conjoins Mars at 9 p.m. at 15 degrees 5 minutes of Libra. Which way will this go? Will the Sun choose to take action in the name of love, harmony, and beauty, or will he decide to fight for what he thinks is right? They haven't met in Libra since 2006, when Venus was hot on their heels, waving her fairy wand. This time, she's ridden way ahead of the field and is more in the mood to preach about love than offer it. This transit brings the possibility of both heroics and histrionics. As with every transit, it's up to you which vibration to tap into. And with Libra, it's all about frequency and vibration. Retrograde Mercury in Libra sextiles Juno in Sagittarius at 9:05 p.m. They're both at 18 degrees 22 minutes. This is their first of two sextiles. Mercury, the communication messenger, will come back around to sextile the goddess of marriage and partnerships again November 3rd. Some people may be tempted to lie to keep the peace in a relationship. Telling lies to someone you're supposed to be in a trusted, intimate relationship with is never a good idea. And with Mercury moving retrograde, he's likely to be caught in whatever lies he's told. Instead, you can avoid the confrontation by speaking about love, by finding common ground about love, and by infusing your relationship with beautiful communication. Remember that we also need kind and loving communication with ourselves for the communication in our relationships to thrive. This may be the ideal place to start if you're struggling. Friday, October 8th. The waxing moon is in Scorpio all day. Any attempts at manipulation will be thwarted. Be mindful to avoid drowning your sorrows in alcoholic beverages. She goes void at 11:05 p.m. with a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. Passion and sensuality can thrive most when people feel empowered instead of powered over. Ceres goes retrograde at 12 degrees 8 minutes of Gemini at 6:32 p.m. She'll return to direct motion at 27 degrees 52 minutes of Taurus on January 14th. Ceres is going back to review any communication and ideas she's been conceiving. This will give her an opportunity to reevaluate and toss out anything that doesn't seem like it will survive the birth of the new earth. She also gives us a chance to take more pleasure in language and communication. Allow yourself to play with words in new ways. Saturday, October 9th. The waxing moon joins Venus in curious, adventurous, visionary Sagittarius at 8:24 a.m. She and Venus come together with the South Node within 2 minutes of each other, encouraging releasing old beliefs that no longer serve so that we can call in a more aligned and loving paradigm. More on that in a minute. Today is a big day for retrograde Mercury. First, he meets with the Sun at 9:18 a.m. at 16 degrees 35 minutes of Libra. Their conjoining is called a cazimi. The Sun is so bright that he outshines Mercury. However, with the Sun in his fall in Libra, he has to work harder to shine. So everyone thinks they are right. Even more polarity. Yikes. People could end up coming to blows later in the afternoon. So when in doubt, sing or read poetry. Remember the wise words of Rumi. All your anxiety is because of your desire for harmony. Indeed, that is perhaps the greatest piece of wisdom for this Libra lunar cycle. Just after she's moved into Sagittarius, Venus conjoins the South Node in Sagittarius, meaning she's also opposite the North Node in Gemini. This transit goes exact at 12:10 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and they're all at 2 degrees 32 minutes. The moon will join both the South Node and Venus 25 minutes later at 12:34 p.m. and 12:36 p.m. respectively. When you look at your relationship future, is it bright, rosy, and abundant, full of love, optimism, and adventure? Or do you feel bleak, sad, and anxious? This transit not only encourages us to release old beliefs and paradigms around love and abundance, it practically casts its karmic spell on us. By releasing the old, what no longer serves, you can call in a more loving, joyful paradigm. Pay attention to who you meet today. The universe is more than willing to give you signs if you ask for them. And then, after his meetup with the Sun, which may or may not have caused an argument, retrograde Mercury hits up Mars at 3:48 p.m. at 16 degrees 16 minutes of Libra. They met in Virgo on August 18th and will meet again in Scorpio on November 10th. As with all things Libra, there are multiple directions this transit could take. The lowest vibration of this transit is fighting. Taunting and goading words could turn into fists. Do you really need to prove your point with someone who really doesn't get it or really is not yet awake to their sovereignty? You can't rescue anyone, and it's just going to make them upset. It's going to make you upset too. And turn off the media if you haven't already. Except me, or Pam Gregory, or Lee Harris, or anyone who is communicating about love, right? The highest vibration of this transit is taking action to communicate love, balance, peace, and harmony. It may be time for more Rumi, or better yet, write your own poetry for the new earth. You may also be inspired to apologize for whatever may have been said earlier in the day. Hi, puppy. Pay attention to what is said today. Its energy will build until it comes to a head around the full moon on October 20th. Do you want to say hi? Yeah? Hi. You bringing love and harmony? Are you bringing love and harmony? Thank you, Pookie. Well, that was a sweet, loving greeting, wasn't it? Sunday, October 10th, the waxing moon in Sagittarius has a very busy day. She sextiles all the planets in Libra, encouraging them to see the glass half full. She goes void at 9:30 p.m. with a sextile to Jupiter. She'll be dreaming of her spiritual community all night long. The biggest astrological news today is that after 20 weeks in retrograde motion, Saturn finally stations direct at 7:17 p.m. at 6 degrees 52 minutes Aquarius. He'll clear his retrograde shadow at 13 degrees 31 minutes Aquarius on January 15th, when he'll finally venture into fresh Aquarian territory where he hasn't been since 1992, when Pallas, Uranus, and Neptune were all conjunct in Capricorn, and indigo children were being birthed into the world with greater frequency. With both Pluto in Capricorn and Saturn in Aquarius moving forward again, we might be hopeful that we'll be moving towards progress. In some ways, that's wishful thinking. There is so much stagnant and stuck energy in the 3D world, like all of the ships that are not being allowed to come into port in the US because someone in Washington, D.C. wants us to run out of toilet paper and batteries. However, as Saturn moves towards his third and final exact square to Uranus in Taurus in December, we are reminded that we can be innovative and resourceful by going back to more natural and earth-friendly ways, instead of adding to the trash that has been created since March 2020 in the name of infection control. Sometimes creating new structures means abandoning the old ones first. Monday, October 11th, the waxing moon moves into Capricorn at 10:14 a.m. after chatting with Eris and Aries all night. She's feeling empowered in her sovereignty, even if the government is in her face about showing her face. You can't control the tides of the oceans. There are no major transits today. Tuesday, October 12th, the waxing moon in Capricorn has a mostly stressful day. She's getting conflicting information. Who's telling the truth? What she sees as the wise feminine being she is not what the mainstream is telling her. She makes her first quarter square with the sun in Libra at 8:25 p.m., when she'll want to bring structure and form to relationships and whatever new moon intentions you may have set on October 6th. The first half of her night is dreamy and deep, inspiring her to feel with her intuition instead of thinking with her brain. And perhaps she'll take a warm bath. She'll eventually go void at 3:53 a.m. the next morning, feeling conflicted by a square to Eris and Aries and a conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn. Why does being sovereign have to create so much chaos? At 5:56 a.m., Vesta in Scorpio trines Pallas Athena in Pisces. They're both at 11 degrees 18 minutes. Vesta is overseeing some sensual, secret, and sacred rituals in Scorpio, initiating transformation through death and rebirth. She knows how valuable this year's compost is for next year's harvest. Meanwhile, Pallas Athena has been receiving endless inspiration and intuitive flashes from her sextile to Uranus and Taurus. Our intuition and inner knowing provide us with so much wisdom if we are willing to get out of our heads. I know for myself, much of what I can see and feel in the months ahead through the astrology and through my intuition has been validated by so many of you who are experiencing similar visions of what's coming, both the shadows and the light. We have to nourish ourselves through the dark of winter in order to be ready for spring. This transit asks us to tap into our most sacred rituals, especially those involving water, to keep our vision clear. Personally, I love float therapy. I go to Capital Floats here in Auburn, and it's one of the most magical places to enter the silent, dark, mystical depths of my soul and connect with the divine and my highest self. Also today, the sun in Libra sextiles Juno in Sagittarius at 10:57 a.m. They're both at 19 degrees 37 minutes. I really love this transit. Where can you shine your beautiful light in your intimate relationships? When you bring beauty and harmony to your relationships, how does that change the frequency? This transit is like that moment in the movie Say Anything, when John Cusack stands under Ione Skye's window in the rain, blasting In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. I mean, is that one of the most romantic moments in movie history or what? Definitely as gorgeous as the soundtrack for Cinema Paradiso by Ennio Morricone. Granted, in real life, John Cusack has definitely moved away from his Cancer sun into the more eclectic energy of his Scorpio moon, which isn't surprising given that he has Uranus and Pluto conjunct in Virgo. But perhaps he'll one day tap in again to conjunct goddesses Venus, Ceres, and Juno in flirty, lighthearted, and romantic Gemini. A girl can wish. All right, beauties, this week sets us up for much of the energy for the remainder of the lunar cycle. I almost said cyclones, which is perhaps what figuratively could be caused by the chaotic tornadoes of disharmonious communication, frequencies, ideas, and ideals swirling around the world right now. Meditation and breath work are truly some of our most important tools because of their ability to bring us back to our peaceful center while also connecting us to Mother Earth and the cosmos. Things will start to intensify around the 16th of October and climax around the 20th to 22nd, at which point I see all sides taking to their respective corners like boxers in a ring. Some could see it as a battle to the death, while others know it is a precursor to profound transformation. For those of you heading to moon dances for the full moon this month, please make sure you are traveling with someone, you have both cash and cards, and that you have a plan B, Libra, just in case Mars and Eris stir up some chaos in the 3D world. For those of you wanting to know how all of this juicy astrology in October impacts you personally, I only have a couple of openings left for the week of October 11th, and I am completely booked for the week of October 18th. So head over to my website, www.divinelyjennifer.com now to book your session. Now more than ever, it's important that we are nourishing our body, soul, and spirit. Hang in there, my friends. The spring will be worth the fall. I love you and send you blessings for a divine, love-infused week. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Divinely Jennifer, and I'll see you the next time.